What's good, everybody? Welcome back, Camp Shows. Today we're gonna do a little segment. I'm gonna ask my father how it was raising us. Very young father. There you go.
Yeah. Teenage father.
Yeah, he wasn't 16 and pregnant though. I was gonna say that. He was.
We started that.
But yeah, he was. His generation gave us a good show to learn from. Yeah. On a serious note, we're gonna be asking questions and stuff. So a couple questions that I have for Pops is, how did you get through being such a young parent?
That's a long answer, but we can try to
touch up on it.
We can try to shorten it up. I kept hella busy, and then because I was a young father. I mean, you were born. I was 15 years old when you were born. So I didn't become a man overnight. You know what I mean? So just I guess the environment that I was in. There's a lot of alcohol. There was a lot of drugs. It was a very fast Las Vegas lifestyle. So I got through it. It's nothing. It's not nothing to laugh about or anything. I mean, we can laugh now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank God. You know what I mean? But there was the way that I got through it was literally, it was like drugs and alcohol. It was just a toxic environment, and I just had to keep going. I think every day I just kept going. You know what I mean? Like, even though it was hella scary, you know what I mean? I had nothing. I had nobody like to teach me how to be, a teenage parent. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like your grandparents, you feel me, grandma and grandpa, they were a little bit older.
A little more, time without a child into adulthood to experience at least a little before they had a kid. You grew up.
I was still in school.
Becoming an adult.
I was still in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I took you to school, to Horizon East. You know what I mean? On Washington and in Pecos. You know what I'm saying? Which is where Desert Pines is over there now next to it. So there's that little alternative education school that's over by DP. That was Horizon East.
Dang.
And I used to take you there.
The little preschool,
the little preschool, yeah. So
it
it was like I said, every day. Getting through it was just basically getting up every day and just pushing. Didn't matter whether it was, what kind of day it was. You know what I mean? Whether we were gonna be sitting on the porch all day drinking and smoking, or whether we was gonna get up and decide to go back to college.
So, how did people view you as a young adult parent?
It's crazy that you say that or you asked that, because I heard recently from someone who is the same age as me. They told me, they were like, man, when we were kids, you were so much older than us. You know what I mean? Like, literally, we're probably a year apart, but it wasn't even about the age. You know what I mean? Like, when I was 18 years old, I was renting a house like literally 2 blocks away from here. You get what I mean? Right. I was 18. I had 2 kids. I had 2 cars. You know what I mean? 2 dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You remember? I don't even if you remember Spoon Circle.
I remember Spoon a little bit.
So Spoon, we could walk there right now. You know what I mean?
Dang, I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah, Spoon Circle.
As a little kid, it felt like it was far from Iron or something.
No, it's literally right around the corner. You know what I mean? But I was 18 years old.
I think I remember when we first got it. We were still sitting on the floor. We were still sitting on the floor eating because we didn't have furniture yet. We was eating fast food and on the floor.
It was actually your uncle and your auntie Angie's. It was her house.
Okay.
Yeah, your uncle Arturo's house. It was their house first.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I remember right, some things happened. Somebody came up to the crib. If I remember right, it was something happened to where they had to move and quick. And
just took over the
Yep. And we came in. So again, I was 18, 2 kids. You know what I mean? It was me, your mom, dogs. The cars. Literally, everybody was still in. Either they were a junior or a senior in high school. You know what I mean? or they had graduated with me, but they were still living with their parents.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, because that's crazy. Because me saying when I officially moved out on my own with Liz, like that was 24, and you were doing it at 18. I couldn't picture doing it at 18.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that was the house.
That's
you know what I mean?
crazy.
Like we had the apartment in Breckenwood at
Right,
16, 17 years old. You know? I wasn't even old enough to pay the lease. You know what I mean? Like I remember that Linda and Ray Linda and Ray, they were the Breckenwood managers.
Yeah, they were very good friends of my grandma.
Yes. And so again, man, my friend who was the same age, literally, we were in the club talking about this earlier this year before the whole shutdown and everything. But he was like, man, you were so much older than us when we were kids. So
mature.
Man, so much mature, yeah. At 18, the 18-year-olds, the 17-year-olds were already looking up to me because to them, I was light years ahead, you know what I mean? Like, I was already had my own stuff.
Like, you get shunned upon and people like, what? You're this age?
If I remember right, there was a lot of people that, when your mom got pregnant with Lana, I think they were worried about your mom. You know what I mean? Just because of what I was doing, you know what I mean, at that time. And I remember a few family members, you know what I mean? I remember some chatter, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People were kind of like, like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? Like, oh, damn, like, man, she's like, it was like, oh, because I was kind of just like all over the place, you know what I mean? Just kind of like out there. But, it was you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you brought it home, man. You and your brother, man. Y'all kept it. Y'all kept me grounded, man. You know what I mean? As grounded as I could be grounded. You know what I mean? Listen, if you think back to how it was, that was me being good.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was me walking as straight as I could walk. You know what I mean? For my mentality. So if I didn't have you and your brother, man,
there would have been nothing to hold you back.
There would have been nothing to hold me back. That's why your grandma was happy when your mom got pregnant.
Just like sitting down, like
she
slowing
was
down.
So happy. And I remember I was like, how? Like, I'm 16. How are you so happy?
Right.
And I'm about to have this baby. You know what I'm saying? But I think your grandma knew. You know what I mean? I think she knew that how they raised me, and I wasn't gonna just, you feel me, like just kind of like be like,
right.
You know what I mean? I think she knew that I was gonna take responsibility and make, and make it happen as much as I could make it happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I think that's why your grandma was there too. Yeah, you know what I mean? She was there along the whole thing and to kind of lean on. You know what I'm saying? Because she knew I was young. You know what I mean? I was 16 with 2 kids.
No, yeah, definitely.
We 17 with 2 kids. You know what I mean?
I can say we've been to everywhere because grandma. Like we've been to Disneyland, Legoland, San Diego, and it wasn't with my parents. It was with my grandma.
It was with your grandma. It was with
grandma.
And listen, now, and that's the same thing with me.
And
that's the same thing with me too. Like in my childhood. You know what I mean? Like when I remember going places. You know what I mean? Like it was with her.
Right.
So thank God for white grandma. Boy, she she's a blessing. Yeah, lifesaver.
Another question I have is, if you guys don't know, I'm the oldest of 6. I'm the oldest of 6. So, next question I'm going to say, how do you balance having 6 kids? Like, how do you balance time between...
Put something in this, man. I might need something.
So the effort and time into each kid, how do you balance?
Listen, man, I think I haven't figured it out. Man. You know what I mean? Again, I was 15 when you were born. I had just turned 17, a couple months before your brother was born. You know what I mean? And then 6 weeks after your brother was born, I graduated. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, went outside, walked across the stage, grabbed my diploma, walked outside, took pictures with everybody I needed to take pictures with. You feel me? Took off my cap and gown, gave it to your grandma, you know what I mean? Gave her my diploma and was like, all right, y'all gotta go to work. You know what I mean? And went to work. Jumped in the money and left Thomas and Mack and went straight to Pet Boys, you feel me? And
That's crazy.
and everybody at Thomas and Mack went to Breckenwood. They went back to the hood and set up and just started partying.
Right.
You get what I mean? Like when I got off of work at 10 o'clock, you know what I mean? I get home at 10:30. It was popping. I pulled up and everybody was already fading and they was just waiting on me to get home, you know?
That's tight.
But like I said, that was the beginning. Like I said, I just took off running, man. You know what I mean? Kind of figured out all this shit on the way. You know, I still don't know. You know what I mean? I still don't know how to balance 6 kids. You know what I mean? I don't, man.
Yeah,
you know?
and at the same time, you think about it, I don't think you can probably ever find that balance because as we grown, we're changing too. So the balance,
Oh, it's different now.
the efforts and things change.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
totally different now. Everything's
Yeah.
different. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
My prayers are different for y'all. You know, again, man, you guys are older. I don't, you know, I want you guys to. Sometimes I wish I would just let me take control of your life, even right now. You know what I mean? Like dead ass. Like I'm serious. It's like you're gonna be, you know, you're 25 years old. You know what I mean? Like I still want you to be like, man, let me do it. You know what I mean? I still want to tell you, man, let me do it, son. You get what I mean? But I know deep down inside I can't do that. You get what I mean? You guys gotta have your own testimony, man. You guys gotta have your own life. You know, and I know that the things that the walls that I hit. You get what I mean? It basically, man, I just kept bouncing off the walls till finally I just, you get what I'm saying? And found that balance. I feel it. You know what I mean? And so I just want, I really want to be able to figure out, to give advice, you know what I mean, on how to balance it. But man, football, this was how we did it. You know what I mean? We needed a schedule. You know what I mean? We needed something in place. You know, we needed something concrete, you know? And so we implemented football, you know? And when football became a part of our life, I just enveloped the whole family with that structure. Dad's the football coach. You know what I'm saying?
We all played a part. Everybody, even the girls was cheerleaders.
Your sisters were cheerleaders. You get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody, you know, all you guys played. So on, you know, went from practices to fundraising to spending Saturdays 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the field.
Football field.
You know what I mean? Like that was how we kind of balanced it. You feel me? Because you guys all had different personalities, but it was like controlled chaos. You know, it was like, all right, here, put these pads on and go hit whoever you want as hard as you want. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that way when you get home, y'all ain't hitting each other. You know what I'm saying? So we use football, you know, to balance it out. And the personalities, man, y'all are growing. Y'all that changes that. I mean, as far we know who you guys are now. We know who you guys are now, you know what I'm saying? And I think we're starting to learn everybody's love language. I think that's something that every teenage parent, every young adult parent should do, is learn about love languages. Because if we would have known about love languages as a young parent, you know, teenage parents, we might have been able to, you know, man, the relationship problems probably could have been different. You know what I mean? And so you just learn each child's love language and adjust to how you love them. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing now. I think that's what me and Mom are doing now. You know what I mean? It's like you guys are young adults, but now we understand love language. And low key, I didn't love some of y'all right as a father. You get what I mean? Like I just had a great discussion with your brother. I said, man, please forgive me because I didn't love you right. You know what I mean? Like, you know I love you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know I love you. But I didn't know your love language. And so I tried to raise you like I was raised. And it backfired on me. You get what I mean? Right. It backfired on me. Feel me? But in some strange way, it worked for you. You get what I mean? And so you and your brother got different love languages, but you feel me? Like, the way that I knew how to love, low key, it was like, that's what worked for you. You know what I mean? And like I said, in a strange way, it just worked. But
Yeah.
it didn't work with
For
everybody.
the rest of the.
You know what I mean? For all your siblings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't work for everybody, man. So, you know,
Yeah.
I had to learn how to adjust, you know, and now that I know what I know, you get what I mean? I look at your brother and I go,
You can probably
damn.
understand.
Yeah,
more.
oh no, I hella understand it more. You know what I mean? I look back and I'm like, man, my bad. You know what I mean? Like that's like, what else can you say? You know what I mean? But man, forgive me. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I know now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you know, and we know. You know what I mean? Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bible. You know.
So from that point on, I know. I mean, you probably did have parenting a long way, but you had to kind of fly your own ship now. You know what I mean? So how did you adapt to learning how to parent a 15-year-old, knowing that when you were 15, it was different. It was opposite.
I did. I was a fucking drill sergeant with you because I knew what you had seen.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? I knew what you had seen. I knew you were old enough to process the shit that you saw. And so I had to be so real, you know what I mean? Like you remember me being transparent as hell with you growing up, right?
Yeah.
I didn't
That was one thing for sure.
I didn't lie, right? I was just super transparent because I knew you saw it. And your grandpa wasn't transparent with me in what I saw. You feel me? So I grew up seeing things and then they
treated like you didn't see it. Like,
right. Or acting like I didn't just see that.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, like, yeah, you know, I grew up, I was as high as this table watching all my uncles do cocaine. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was passing around a blunt or, you know,
like
or a shot or,
like
you know.
It was casual.
It was super casual, you know what I mean? And they didn't know because it was so new. You know, this is 84.
Right.
You know, 84, 85. You know, I'm a youngin'. But I remember that those things are they're just they're like embedded. And I feel like I held on to those things for so long because I was like, dog, was I dreaming? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like nobody wants to talk about this. But then of course, you know, as you get older it comes out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It comes out. So I knew I wasn't dreaming. You get what I mean?
Right.
Because my uncles was going in and out of rehab. You get what I mean? I saw crack run through the family. You know what I mean? And then later I saw meth run through the family. You know what I mean? So I was a drill sergeant when you were 15. Because by the time I was 15, I was already moving small weight. You know what I mean? Like I think before I think I was 15 years old when I got caught with like a quarter pound of weed at Valet High School. You feel me? And I spent the night at juvie. You know what I mean? These were all reasons why I was a drill sergeant with you because I was like, yo, my son's coming up to this age.
Well, you know the possibilities.
And I knew that the kids was moving faster than we were, you get what I mean, back in the day. So I'm like, the internet, all that, exactly. I'm like, and you seeing what you saw. You get what I mean? You seeing what you saw, you know, in the neighborhood and with me and your uncles and just you get what I mean, the drug game and all of that, pushing. You saw a lot, and I knew if I could be doing it at 15, you could. And that's why at 12, 13, you know what I mean? Like, was you allowed to go anywhere?
No, everybody came to my house.
Right. and that was how I wanted to be, you know what I mean? Like, we were still on the east side. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, I was raising you in the same neighborhood that I grew up in. Right. You get what I mean? So I knew that my tactics as a father had to change. They couldn't be the same tactics that my father did. You get what I mean? Because it's the same environment. He's seeing the same thing. You get what I mean? Like you saw the same. You know what I mean? I don't think you remember. I never let anybody sniff nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know you don't have that vision.
I never had that.
Yeah, no, because that's fighting grounds. Anybody do a line in front of my son, that's grounds for fighting. But
right.
You get what I'm saying?
No, yeah, it was crazy though. One time, I just asked like a peer, a friend, like, what the fuck is this pinky nail shit, right? and then they told someone was like they grow it out to do coke, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, dang, that's crazy. I think I remember something like that. Homie, come on, you know what I mean? So it was just like, okay, like it made, but I never seen it.
Right.
But I remember seeing the weirdo with the long pinky, the homie, but then and then hearing this stuff, and it was just like hearing that story from him, like, they grew it up to do this. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, and that's like I said.
You know what I mean? And I was like, how I would like see or like that's, but I never really.
And so you start putting, as you get older, you start putting it together.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And that's what I did getting older.
Right.
And everybody was like so like non-transparent and like ashamed. You feel me? So I didn't want to be that way because I lost respect and I got a little chip on my shoulder, and you feel me? And that you know, and that led me to do other dumb things. You get what I mean? And make other dumb decisions.
Family relationships.
Absolutely. So I had to change my tactics, man. And my tactics was to be transparent with you and just be strict as hell. And I would rather you have 30 of your friends come over to the house and I would have to feed them all than for you to go anywhere else. You get what I mean? You was allowed to go to Josh's. Yeah. And your other homie by Mendoza that lived. Ricky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was pretty much the only two. Remember that mama, right? He wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed to go nowhere, dog. Like you just and the way that you took it, you know, like because I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I know this is your interview, but was I, you know what I mean? Was I like just the biggest asshole of a dad because I didn't let you go anywhere?
No, it kind of felt that way because I think in my mind I wasn't doing bad shit, so it was like, why can't I go? You know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? So it kind of had that, like when I couldn't leave the cul-de-sac, like the stop sign outside, I couldn't pass the stop sign. My other friends, they'll pass that line. I was like, skirt, like I can't go that far. You know what I mean? It was just like I couldn't even pass the stop sign. My other friends were like, let's go to old boy house over here. Let's drive down. Let's just. Well, I can't pass the stop sign, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was just stuff like that. It was like we just gonna go ride around the little neighborhood, like, you know what I mean? But I get it though. It was prevention of other things.
I mean, you know, like
stuff like that. But I don't look at it like I had a bad childhood because everybody came here and it was cool. It was still cool. It was just I wanted to be around my friends. That was it at the end of the day. So.
And I kind of figured that, you know, and that's why I was like, have everybody come over here, you know, I'll buy y'all pizza. Remember I used to just buy pizzas and just feed everybody, you know what I mean? Because honestly, even your friends, I felt they were safer playing in front of my house. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I was like, tell the whole damn neighborhood to come play right here. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Basketball tournament.
Yeah, you know, we put the flag out in the front and, you know, make sure the cars don't, you know, it was just I just wanted to create a safe environment. You know what I mean? Because I knew, I knew what you had seen. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? And I kind of had that same pattern, and I just wanted to let me break this pattern real quick.
Oh, yeah, and as a parent too, that shows like, even though you was trying to like, very strict, but your attention is still there. You know what I mean? Some parents don't even give their kids attention. They let them just go roam the streets. Yeah. So you know what I mean? I always had the attention. So it wasn't like I was lacking anything. It was just very strict. And I mean, I can't complain about how I'm living.
I feel it worked. You know what I mean? I feel it worked. Thank God. Like I said, I didn't do it. You know, I didn't. You know, I wasn't perfect, but man.
Yeah. If anything, I remember as growing up and the vibe I get when I see people trying to act like hood or thug or street is like you silly. You know what I mean? Like it's very immature to me, based off of how you raised me. Like you know what I mean? Like that's just silly. You know?
Because I'm gonna be real. I could have turned you out.
Right.
I could have turned you out. You know what I mean? I got you
you
got cousins who got turned. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You know what I mean? You saw.
No, yeah.
You saw family members that got caught in the cycle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In that cycle that I was in. And you saw me trying to break it. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And so you didn't need no friends. You didn't need people at school like to tell you, you know, like you had enough family around you to go, okay, if you do that, you're gonna end up like that, and if you do that, you know what I'm saying? So you had enough examples, and I was so transparent and upfront about it. Shit, man, thank God it worked, yo. Thank God it worked, man. It worked, man. Yeah, it worked.
What was or is your biggest fear on raising children? It's like, so let's do this. As a young adult and not knowing, like, so from having your first couple of children, what was like a big fear? And then how has that changed? Did you overcome that fear, or like is that still the same fear?
I can definitely say, man, that, I can definitely say that I'm a lot more tired. I'm now. I don't have the energy that I used to have. You feel me?
Got it.
It took a lot of energy. It took a lot of energy to stay on top of you. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Stay on top of Lionel. Stay on top of Angel. You get what I mean? And like that whole everybody's transition. You know what I mean? Into different stages. It really just left me and Mom like. We would literally run in 10 to 1 and then like, that one would be good and then we'd be like, and catch one whiff and then boom, another one, like, oh damn, what's wrong? You know what I mean? And it'd be like, okay, let's go run and let's tend to them and and then it'd be like, that's done and then someone else, you get what I mean? So there's 6 kids to go to, right? And then the one that's not going through nothing starts to end up going through something,
right?
Because they're watching the parents just run around tending to everybody's, different personalities and different problems and things like that. Growing up in a blended family and things like that. And I think the fear, it was you guys not being happy. That was, I think, me and Mom's biggest fears. Was like, we just want them to be happy. You know what I mean? I think. Nothing's changed. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed except the fact that when you guys were under our roof, we could kind of control that happiness. You know what I mean? Like we could manipulate it. You know what I mean? Or buy you something. Yeah. We could just do whatever. We could parent. It was a lot easier to be a hands-on parent. Again, it don't change, man. It hasn't changed with you guys being the age that you are now. Man, we just want y'all to be happy. You know what I mean? And our biggest fear is our kids being unhappy. Because then when they're unhappy, it's like we immediately go, what did we do wrong?
Like feels like failure.
Absolutely. Failure as a parent.
As a parent,
yeah. So you guys being unhappy is like equivalent to us looking at ourselves as, man, we failed. You know what I mean? Like, and that shouldn't even be it. You know what I'm saying? Right, it shouldn't be it. It's just the responsibility that you bear when you become a parent. You know what I mean? When you become a father, you take it. You know what I mean? We can feel when you guys aren't happy. We can feel when there's something just. You know what I mean? Like we can feel it.
I see that being true because our whole life we're just studying us. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's why this next phase of life, man. It's a whole nother chapter, man. You know what I mean? We'll sit down and have a whole nother discussion because guess what? We've never done it. Right. You feel me? Your sister's gonna graduate in 2 years. Me and Mom don't know what. I'm 40 years old. I had you when I was 15. I don't know what life is like. Without kids, without the responsibility. I don't understand what that life is like. You get what I mean? Without having to feed some, to make sure there's dinner.
I never really thought about that. That's a big thing.
People deal with it, right? It's called empty nest or something like empty nest syndrome.
Could you think about 15 to 42 maybe? Like
I'll be 42 when your sister graduates.
Maybe 45 whenever she moved. Like just see.
Right. Yeah. She don't have to move out.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's say 45 though. 15 to 45. That's a long time. Yeah. Having straight kids.
Yeah. It's 30 years.
And then, but to think about being 45 and having no more kids and still having the rest of your life to live is pretty crazy too.
No, it's it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Especially when I feel
Right.
dirty. You know what I'm saying? It's mind blowing because I tell mom all the time, man, we got a whole other life.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? There's a whole other life God got for us.
That's so crazy.
You feel me? I believe it. And guess what? Nothing against any of our 6 kids, because part of our next chapter, to me, is going to involve the whole grown-up version of this, man. You know what I mean? It's going to involve the whole grown-up version of this. And like I said, I don't know what it's going to be. You know, it's probably going to be a business. It's probably going to be, you know, like I see us working with all of you guys.
I could speak
Because
that
we're a
too.
team.
Like just like football.
We're a team, and we know everybody's weaknesses. We know everybody's strengths. You get what I mean? Because we actually literally live this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what other team would gel better than our team?
Right.
You know?
No, yeah.
It's just like
our chemistry is through the roof.
It's through the roof.
In this family, yeah.
Through the roof. And so the next stage of me and mom's life as just me and mom, man, like I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait, man. We got 2 more years with your sister in the house, but
at this point,
after raising all 6-year-olds, man, come on, man. 1 kid is a breeze. One 16-year-old kid is a breeze.
Mm-hmm. We kind of touched up on this, but why were you more strict with your older children, and the babies of the bunch kind of got less whoopings? Let's just say that.
Man, I got tired, man. I did. I got a little tired when we first got together as a family. You know, discipline was really weird around that time. You know what I mean? Because we kind of blended as a family, but yet I wasn't the disciplinarian, you know, for your brothers, you know, in that stage, you know what I mean, of our family. And so, you know, it had to be hard for you, you know what I mean, to get the discipline from me and then, you know, watch your brothers not get the discipline, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure that was hard for you to juggle, you know, but at that time I was like super stepfather, you know what I mean? I wasn't really, I was still Cheech, I wasn't dad yet, you get what I mean? And so I didn't have the, you know, I grew up in a blended family, and I watched your grandpa whoop my stepbrother. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like he didn't want your grandpa to whoop him. He wanted his own daddy to whoop him. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? And he developed this chip on his shoulder that I low-key felt, you know, grandpa played a part of, you know, he affected him in a very, you know, not knowing type of way. You know what I mean? Like your grandpa's listen, man, that man was born in the 50s, okay? So the type of discipline and the type of era that those men come from, they don't give a shit who you are. You know what I mean? Right. You mess up and I see it, I'm whooping your ass. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're the neighbor kid down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, they grew up in real villages on the island. So anybody could whoop your kid. You know what I mean? But, so that was your grandpa's, you know, that was his perception, you know?
Right. That's kind of his, his learning.
That's all he knew.
Yeah.
That's all he knew. He didn't know no blended family stuff either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your grandpa didn't know how to be a stepdad either.
Right.
You feel me? He didn't know how to tread lightly and, you know, in that area, and, you know what I mean? Like, he was new to it too, you know, so he didn't know. But, you know, I believe my stepbrother way later on, you know, definitely, you know, explained, you know, once he got mature, you know what I mean, and knew, he figured it out. Yeah, he saw what, you know, your grandpa was trying to do, you know what I mean? But I feel like he walked around with a chip on his shoulder, you know, because of that, and because, you know, what he was going through with his own father. You get what I mean? And so I didn't want that. You know, I didn't want that for your stepbrothers. You know, I didn't want to, you know, whoop them and then them have like this chip on their shoulder, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't my daddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type shit. You feel me? So I didn't want to cross that line.
No,
you know,
yeah.
at that time, and so it definitely it messed with me too. You know what I mean? Because it messes with your values. You know, it messes with the way that you were raised. You know, and so it tests everything that you believe in and everything that you stand for. You know,
No, yeah.
and all I wanted to do, you know, was basically as far as your stepbrothers, man. I just wanted to make sure they understood I wasn't trying to
be overpowered,
exactly.
like
I'm not
master,
yes,
like type shit.
Yeah. And hopefully, and because you was the oldest, man, I was hoping they learned something. You know what I mean? Like you and Lano, Lano didn't get too many whippings because he learned.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? He was like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, did Vince just get whooped like that for doing that? Okay, well, I'm not gonna do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, he kind of had some sense.
Seen it, like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Because he was the younger brother, so you were blazing the trail. You were out. You know what I mean? You were gonna touch the stove first. Mm-hmm. You were gonna run across the street without looking first. You feel me? You were gonna do all that first, and you did. And then when you got whooped, your brother was like, I'm cool. I don't want none of that smoke. You know what I mean? And he kind of just learned, And then, then your brother Angel, he was like you. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Because even though he's the third oldest in the blended family,
he's the oldest.
He's the oldest. You get what I mean? He's the oldest. He's the first that came out of his mother's womb. You feel me? So his attitude is, I'm going to do it first too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. You get what I mean? And then Angel got his ass whooped, and then by mom, and then Junior was like, I don't want none of that smoke. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you feel me? And so it kind of rolled like that. Yeah, exactly. And that and that was just it, man. And then the girls just took it to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? They softened me up. You know what I mean? They softened me up, man. Your sister softened me up. You know what I mean? As much as she could. Mm-hmm. At that time, she just softened me up. And then the older she gets, the softer I get. It sucks. I don't know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? Somebody help me. It was funny. I get softer. I don't know.
It was crazy times because I used to be like, what the heck? I used to get whooped for doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did he just talk back like that?
No, I remember a few times. I remember a few times your sister did some things, and he used to be like, you not gonna whoop her? You know what I mean? And just put me on the spot. I'm like, ugh.
Because I'm like, what the heck did I get whooped for doing that then? Like, dang.
Yeah, man. You'll get it, man. You'll get it. You'll have your first kid, and you'll be like, hey, move away from there. Wow, go out. And that second one will come, and you'll be like, go ahead, touch it. It's hot. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna burn you. So
yeah, I can see that though. Yeah. That's good to know too, though, just to keep the balance.
Yeah.
And then our last question here, I got all our siblings together, and we came with this question here. So everybody wants to know who your favorite child is. We are wanting to know this. Mainly Momi. Momi's very concerned.
I'm pretty sure. Listen.
She's very concerned.
Listen.
Here, let's just put names in the hat. This is making this even as possible.
Right.
Look at that.
Yeah, no. Man, my favorite. I don't know, man. I think it's usually the one not giving me the most problem.
The one that gives
Oh my goodness.
The one who's not giving me the most problems. Yeah, if you're on my shit list, you're on my shit list. There's no coming off of that. You know what I mean? I mean there is, but no, I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I don't think I have a favorite. Baby, you think I got a favorite? I don't think I got a favorite.
I don't think
You
so.
think I got a favorite?
I don't think so.
Who do you think? June, you think I got a favorite? Do you think I got a favorite? Booty, who's my favorite? I don't know, man.
Me!
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mommy's my favorite.
We let her
Mommy's
have
my
that.
favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
We gotta let her take that one.
You know
Mommy's my favorite. Yeah, we'll get it on camera so she can use it the rest
Of her
of
life.
my life.
You said it. You know what
Right,
said it.
Mommy's my favorite, yeah, because she softened me the hell up. Boy.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up here, and I just want to say one of the biggest things that I've learned from you is probably to like when I see you, I never really see panic. I always see like you know what I mean. I never see you like you know what I mean, like nervous. Like it's always a smooth, confident. Anything he approaches, you know what I mean, and does, you know what I mean. So it makes me comfortable, even though it's something that we probably don't even really know about or something, you know what I mean. I just have real good belief in him, and that's what I want people to have in me. Is that I want to have the persona where people hear me speak and they just believe and they, you know what I mean, what I can do or you know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying. So I think that's one of the kind of big things I've learned.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
That's it, y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
See you later, Castro.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yes,